I'm Richard Randall, and welcome back to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or to sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb, buyers seem to have much fewer homes to choose from. What are some of the top mistakes that home buyers make, and why are there so many fewer homes on the market?
Well, Richard, there is a larger amount of inventory of homes this year by far than last year, probably 3 times more homes available to choose from. So, but even so, less inventory than what we saw before COVID, with higher demand, because the millennial generation, many of them are of age where they can buy homes, they have good jobs and stuff, and we have another generation behind them. So what they may not know is not every home is available online. There are quite a few homes that get sold off market. A lot of times we have homes that are not on the market, but the sellers are willing to accept an offer if we have a buyer that would be interested. Like maybe they're planning on moving in a couple of months. If they'd let them, rent back or something, we can work those things out. So I wanted to kind of go over some of the things that could affect what the buyers get a chance to see. And just so you know, what most real estate agents do is they show buyers homes that they already have access to. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Well, I mean, back in the day before the MLS system was not on the internet, the agents used to control the inventory. So if you wanted to go buy a home, short of going to a new construction site, you would go meet with an agent. They'd pull out this big white phone book. It looked like a phone book. And it had this data of each home and a description, very few, if any, pictures. And they knew all the inventory, and then they would just go around and show you homes, right?
Wow, talk
So
about old school.
it's totally old school. So that's completely changed. And so now what we're seeing is there are definitely more homes for sale. I'm going to update my slide right now. There's probably, when I checked this morning or yesterday, they were probably on order of, oh, I didn't hit save, about 1,800 homes on the market. And of those, maybe 1,600 are single family homes. Okay. With the interest rates on the rise, affordability is a big deal for buyers. So if I were a buyer, I'd be wanting to do this fast right now, especially now when there's a little bit of uncertainty and people are kind of pausing. We had a real quiet weekend last weekend. They're kind of pausing, I think, because of, recession talks and gas prices are increasing, all that going on. But guess what? There's still going to be a need for housing, no matter what happens with the stock market and the economy. So why not get in there when the rates are still really very low compared to a long period of time? All right, but when you see the house that you like, one of the huge mistakes that a lot of buyers make is they fail to make their best offer. Like they want the house and they make this assumption and think that there may not be another offer on the table. And it just happened last week on one of my listings. It's been quiet for the longest period of time, and all of a sudden we get 2 offers within a few hours. So you can't assume that. You have to go, okay, this is my best offer. I'm okay with this number. Anything above that, if somebody else gets the house, it's okay. So you have to think about that. They are still, excuse me, expecting prices to go up 5 to 8%, maybe even Zillow is saying 10% over the next year. And you know what I find a lot, Richard? Like if I happen to get multiple offers, and let's say we picked one offer, we weren't able to reach an agreement, but I know there's 5 other buyers out there that want that house. This has happened to me 3 or 4 times, that I go back to that list of buyers and go, oh, you know what? We weren't able to reach a deal. Bring your best and highest by this time. And the thing that surprises me the most is those buyers come back with a higher offer than what their initial offer was. And I don't understand the psychology. Pardon?
How does that work?
Well, it's like, okay, you made an offer, you knew there was competition, but then later when you get a second chance, you come in even stronger. It just doesn't make sense. So I recommend to buyers that if they love the house, they definitely want to live there, make your best offer out of the gate. You're more likely to get it accepted. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Another mistake that a lot of buyers make is they're not really sure about whether or not they can afford the house. Buyers buy homes typically on payments, the luxury of having financing in this world. You can get a 30-year mortgage at a reasonable interest rate and spread your payments over time. And in many cases, those payments are less expensive than rent. Yet you get to enjoy annual appreciation every single year of that property, which over time, it's really wonderful to see people walk away and have a big chunk of cash when they sell their home. It sets their world right when that happens. But it does depend, of course, on how long you plan to keep the home, how much you're putting down. Typically, it will take about 4 to 6 weeks to close on a home. So you got to plan for that. But there's a really good resource out there to figure out what your house payment will be. Now, the information you would need going in are the current rates, which it'll auto default to give you the current conventional rates. If you're getting a VA or an FHA loan, sometimes those can be about a half a point less. This website absolutely kind of over speculates on how much the property taxes are. So you definitely want to find out what those are. You can get a rough idea, but generally what I put in as a default is maybe $150 a month for property taxes, unless it's a condo or a high-end home. So if you go to this website, bankrate.com, and look for the mortgage calculator, you can put all that in and play with the numbers and really figure out how much house you can afford, because you don't want to go out there and throw offers on a home and then you look into your payment and go, oh, you know what, that's not in the budget, I think I'm going to step out on this. It's very, very bad for a seller to accept a contract and then have the buyer bail out later. It's really bad because they're already setting their moving plans in motion. They believe you're going to closing. So the best thing you can do is just know what you're getting into right off the bat, and also knowing the market. So you need to know how to get the home that you want, what to expect when making an offer, the pros and cons of making an offer. It doesn't cost anybody to make an offer, because once you're not going to put up an earnest deposit really until it gets accepted. But I think if just thinking from a home seller's perspective, they are hoping that whoever gets a contract on their house is going to go to the finish line. They're deeply disappointed if it doesn't work out. Don't you think, Richard?
Absolutely. I mean, that's human nature, right?
Yeah, but it just, there are some people that treat it like a lock and shop deal, and it really doesn't work.
Not at all.
Make sure that you're hiring an agent that's going to work for you. Most buyers have no idea how real estate works. And a lot of the younger generation believe that they could do everything online. They don't need us, right? They can find homes online because they're out there on the internet. They can get financing on their own because that's out there on the internet. They can learn about the home buying process all over the internet. So a lot of them ask, what do agents do anyway? I actually just talked to one on the phone from another company a few days ago. I was really surprised. She never goes and shows houses, never. She has other people do it for her, and then she sits at home in her fuzzy bunny slippers and writes offers.
That doesn't sound like what I want.
No, I mean, you want somebody to walk alongside you when you're buying a house. You want them to see the house, and because that person, that agent, should know what you want and should be able to guide you with, okay, most of the time buyers want to know when they're buying a house, is it the type of property that when I go to sell it, other buyers would want, right?
Right.
They don't want to buy something that's a problem. So I see it all the time in our open houses. The agents just tell the buyers to go look at it, and hey, if you like it, I'll write an offer. Okay.
Jeez.
Don't you hate that?
Well, that's just not the kind of service I would expect on one of the major, decisions I'm ever going to make in life. Probably financially, the biggest investment I'm going to make.
Yeah, and think about it. They're making thousands of
Yes.
dollars
Yes.
writing a 10-minute contract. Many of them kind of opt out of going to the inspection. They don't want to do anything.
Is that too much to ask to have them with you as you go through this process? I mean,
No, in fact, it's what my agents I expect. I expect them to not just show them homes that they can get on the internet and on the MLS, but also go out and try to find them a home, to market their buyer, to go, hey, I've got a buyer. They want to be in this neighborhood. This is their price range. They're pre-approved, blah, 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 and hopefully get some sellers to raise their hand and go, hey, I'm thinking about selling. So if you want to become one of our VIP buyers, even get exclusive access to homes that are not on the internet, and be fully prepared to get your dream home, including education about the market, how the competition works, how to find the best lenders. There's no cost or obligation to give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard.
well, Barb, you're listening to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, of course, your home sold guaranteed realty. And if you're interested in selling, give Barb a call. The only person I would recommend, 719-301-3900. And we're talking about the top 10 mistakes that home buyers make when they're looking for a home. Give us a couple more minutes of that, Barb.
There's a huge amount of the population right now that thinks that we're in a real estate bubble, just like we were in 2008, and the market values are going to crash like an elevator. So they're waiting for the crash to buy. And I personally think that's a mistake. Right now, we're seeing more inventory. We're seeing less bidding wars. This is a great time to buy because you may not be up against competition. What's different between now and last year is you don't have to pay 20, 30, 50,000 over asking price. You can just pay asking price and get a home.
Nice.
So, I wouldn't wait for it to crash. I don't see that coming. Homes will continue to get more expensive. Rent will continue to get more expensive. Oh, also, don't step out if there is a bidding war. Okay, just make your best offer and don't worry about it. Even if you don't get the house, it's okay. There's probably another better home around the corner. And not every agent knows the market conditions. Some will tell you what they think the home is worth. I would go with your gut feel. You're seeing what's out there. Ask them to give you similar sales, but don't get discouraged if the offer does not get approved. Also, do not expect a seller to accept your offer if you have a house to sell. Those are harder offers to get accepted. Basically, they need to have no other option to take that kind of deal, and they need more facts. Now, because it's not a crazy bidding war market, more and more sellers are accepting contracts with a buyer who has a house to sell, but it gives them a large warm fuzzy if the home is already under contract, already passed inspection, and you just need to get a house. That's a good situation.
You want to be in a good situation, give Barb a call. That is Barb Schlinker, 719-301-3900, or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. And if you want a free report, beat other buyers to hot new listings, go ahead and visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Go to the buyer's guide. That'll be in the upper right-hand corner. It says free reports. Click on that. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking about 27 tips to drive up the sales price of your Colorado Springs area home. Stay tuned for that.